What's going on, everybody? This is the Ball Up Top podcast YouTube show. I'm your host, Mike. So we're going through a series we're calling the Kevin Durant Sweepstakes. For those of you who don't know, or you've been living under a rock, or not near a gym, or a sports center, or Fox Sports, Kevin Durant asked to be traded. Um, and so it's a unique scenario in which one of the game's elite players who has 4 years on his contract is asked to be moved. When you have that many years, you kind of lose a lot of leverage because the choice of not playing is not really there. So I'm under the impression that I feel like almost every team in the league should at least be making the phone call for him. Because from a lot of these teams, he's the difference between a championship or just what they've been doing. So this is our third episode. The first episode we covered the Phoenix Suns. Um, Basically, what I'm doing is I'm coming up with what I feel are good trade scenarios. I'm not doing 3 or 4 team trades. I'm just doing one-on-one team trades. Um, but like, what would be a fair offer from the Suns, or what's their best offer? The next episode, I actually did Brooklyn Nets and him staying with Brooklyn, which I still think might be his best move. He and Kyrie could come together and basically, like, through the adversity, they could like build a team that could do something. And if it doesn't work out, then the Nets still have Durant for 3 more years, and they can still perform a trade. So this episode, we're actually going to cover the Denver Nuggets. Um, as you can see from the screen, I logged into a website called fanspo.com. Their NBA trade machine is probably the better trade machines I've seen. So I'll put the link in the description below. So yeah, we're going to go with the Denver Nuggets. Because what inspired this is I see a lot on Twitter of people wanting to come up with trades, but a lot of people don't understand some of the rules that have to deal with trades. And so I figure this is also a good educational device at this point. So I feel like Denver is a great fit for him. As long as they keep certain players, Denver is a great fit because what they can do is they're an instant contender. They already have a 2-time MVP. Jamal Murray is going to come back. I'm thinking I don't know if he's going to be back to what he was, but I'm thinking 80% of what he was would still be great. You got Kevin Durant. If they can add Kevin Durant, it'd be like, I feel like they would be the favorites to win it all. So I feel like Denver should really, there's a handful of teams I feel like should really push hard to make a deal, and Denver is one of them. So we're going to go over here and we're going to trade Durant to the Nuggets. Now, as you can see, on the screen, it shows how much you're under the tax, how much you're over tax. Which right now, when you move Durant over, they go hugely over. How much cap space? So neither one of these teams, even let me go ahead and put Durant back here on Brooklyn for a second. Both of these teams are over. They're over the tax, and both of these teams are over cap space. The Nets are spending about $13 million more against the cap, 13 to 17. So we do have to work it so that it has to work. It does have to work. Um, so like I said, we're going to put Durant on the Nuggets. That means we have to at least send very close to that 44 million back. So what the Nets said they wanted is they want an all-star caliber player. They want a young player with all-star potential. At least this is the rumored what they want, and they want draft picks. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to send Michael Porter Jr. Um, Michael Porter Jr. financially is huge because I mean, financially is huge, but there is a problem. Like if I am Brooklyn, I would want Michael Porter Jr. But Michael Porter Jr. signed a 5-year rookie extension for the Nuggets for the Nuggets designated rookie. So the problem is they can't get Michael Porter Jr. unless Ben Simmons is traded. That's where this gets difficult because if I'm Brooklyn, if I'm going to trade KD, I really want Michael Porter Jr. But as I said, we can't actually make that work without moving out Ben Simmons. And if we move out Ben Simmons, we have to start looking at guys like Jamal Murray, and basically we end up just trading. Oh, we end up trading Durant Durant and Simmons for Porter and Murray to go with Jokic. And I'm not sure if they would do that. I'm not saying they wouldn't, but I'm just not sure if they would. So for right now, yes, we're gonna undo that. So what we got? We got Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon is not like this. Oh, this is this is a great deal. I mean, but he's a younger player. He's just now about to enter his prime. Hugely athletic, maybe low All Star potential, but like that kind of like how they have to work that. Because without going, like I said, we were doing one-on-one team trades, so I can't trade Porter unless I get Simmons back unless I trade Simmons back in return. But so that leaves us now. We still have like $24 million to make up. We got Caldwell Pope, but see, and and now I go back to the Michael Porter problem because right now, player wise, if I'm the Nuggets, I'm not giving enough. I'm going to have to make the sacrifice, and the sacrifice, in all honesty, would be to send Michael Porter to the Nets, send Ben Simmons to the Nuggets, and then probably have to go and send Jamal Murray. Now, I don't like the idea of sending Jamal Murray, but we're talking about making a deal that works. So financially, if you look, the Nuggets have 82 million going out and 80 million coming back in. The Nets have 79 million going out and 82 coming in. So financially this works. It's if you're the Nuggets, you don't really like it. You don't like giving up Jamal Murray. But like I said, Porter will be but if I were Brooklyn, Porter would be a non-starter, and like basically it has to happen. I'm not even having a conversation without it, and so that means you can't keep Ben Simmons. So more than likely to do this deal, you would have to do a three-team trade to get rid of Simmons so that they could keep Murray. But this is the basic crux of it here. So now we go into draft picks. Now, there's a thing called the stipend rule, which prevents you from trading draft picks on back to back years. So if you look, the Nuggets, well, they don't have a 23 pick. That means they can't trade their 24. They don't have a 25 pick, which means they can't trade their 26. They don't have a 27 pick, so they can't trade their 28. So basically, the only pick they have that they can outright trade is the 29. And I'm not going to put stipulations on these picks, protections. It all I'm just marking them all as excuse me. I'm just marking them all to go completely unprotected. Well, what they do have is a lot of seconds. So what I would do is I would trade the 29th, and then I would look to do a swap. So we go over here to the Nuggets picks. So in 24, no, with 24 we can't do a swap. 26, we can't do a swap. So we can't really do a swap until 28. So 28 would then get sent as letting letting Brooklyn have the option of swapping. And then I would just bombard them with second round picks. As you can see, the Nuggets have a ton of second round picks. So I would just like, it's basically, it's like, how many second round picks do we need to get this deal done? So we're gonna just throw four in here just for the giggles. So the deal we have right now is essentially the Nuggets will trade their 29 first round pick, four second round picks, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., and Aaron Gordon for Ben Simmons and Kevin Durant. If I'm the Nuggets, honestly, like that's probably the only way that Brooklyn does this job. But if I'm the Nuggets, I don't make this deal. Simmons plays a similar role as Jokic, except for Jokic actually shoots the ball. I only really like I would do it to make a three like if there's a three-team trade, then yes, I'm much more into it. But yeah, this is probably the only way Brooklyn does it. So let's go ahead and look to see what the trade looks like. See if it passes. See if we pass the trade machine. So yeah, it was successful. And according to Fanspo, the Nuggets would win five more games, and the Nets would only lose four more games. What this does for the Nets is it gives them that young star, possibly a Michael Porter. Gives them a guy who's scoring Jamal Murray. He's a young player who can play. It gives them Aaron Gordon. Like it gives them a lot. It makes them competitive, especially like the lower part of the East is not usually the best part, the best part of the league. So yeah, it makes them competitive. For Denver, it increases their being a contender. It gives Jokic a superstar to play alongside. I just don't know how well the whole Ben Simmons things works with it, but that's it. Like that is the Denver Nuggets into the Kevin Durant sweepstakes. Please feel free to like, subscribe, comment. I try to respond to all comments. Um, Check out our Instagram page at Ball Up Top Podcast, our Twitter page at Ball Up Top Pod. Um, right now, we're in the process of trying to get our little studio together and try and get some things done so that we can re-roll out the podcast. Right now, we've been mainly focusing on the YouTube shows just to get things out. The next episode of the Kevin Durant sweepstakes is going to be the Indiana Pacers. So I hope everyone has enjoy the off season. Hope your team gets what you're looking for. Peace.